All right, Mike Todd, Recovery First Podcast. We're going to keep pumping information out. That's what Recovery First Podcast is all about. It's about education, information, sharing from the heart, not being ashamed of what we're dealing with today, to meet it head on. Substance use disorder and mental illness. You know, let's meet it head on and drop the stigma, drop the shame so that more people will feel okay with talking about this and asking for help and getting help all the way across the board. And that's really what I want to talk about in this recovery share. In our recovery shares, we're going to be interviewing some people as we get into the year, but I want to talk real quick about harm reduction, naloxone, also called Narcan, that's the brand name, and families. Because one of the things that I experience as I get naloxone out, as I train people to use naloxone, whether it be family members or people at risk themselves, people on the street, as we distribute this out, I want to, first give a shout out to Day Otis, the Department of Alcohol and Other Drug Abuse Services, for getting these community naloxone grants and Narcan grants out here to community folks like ourselves at Freedom Recovery Center to actually help us and they actually provide the naloxone for us to get out. So I want to just put this out here. There's still a lot of shame and guilt that go around substance use disorder and mental illness. And what I want to say as someone who deals with this with my own child, okay, and I'll just put that out there. Like, look, I'm not the guy that has the podcast and has all the answers. It's not like that. I just have a good friend that helps me do this to get information out, and Ask 'em Studios and Todd Widows and Kelly Widows, shout out to them. Thank you so much. But here's the thing. If you are obviously everybody has family members, whether it be cousins, sisters, mothers, fathers, whatever it may be. And if you can give me one family that is not touched whatsoever by substance use disorder, I want to meet you. I really do. If you have a family and like nobody has this problem, please give me a call, 864-787-3798. I want to hear from you. What I hear most is that every family is touched by this. Many times I think we have parents who are struggling. Their children are struggling with this, and they're very ashamed. They don't want to tell anybody, and they don't know what to do. Maybe they've tried to get their child to go to treatment. Maybe they've tried everything in the world, and the child is just like, nope, I'm gonna use no matter what. And then they throw up their hands and, oh my God, what do we do from here? Because we hear about this fentanyl out on the street. We hear that like one shot or one pill can kill someone. Folks, just last week, I know of one young man in his 20s who took one pill. It was a benzo that was fake, that was counterfeit, and counterfeit benzodiazepine, and died. Okay, so here's the thing. Yes, the drug supply in the United States of America, hear me, because I don't understand why we're not talking about this. I don't know why we're not blazing this over the news. The drug supply in the United States of America is poisoned. You just don't go out and buy a pill off the street. When I was using, I could go out and I could buy a pill. I mean, I could go out to a nightclub or somebody and say, hey, we got these pills, and they would be what they said they were, right? I mean, somebody would get a hold of a batch of pills or whatever, or take some out of some, or whatever, however they do it, and they would sell it, and it would be what it is. Now we have all these pressed pills that are pressed. Inside of that press is fentanyl, okay? It's not a cut, because you can't cut fentanyl. Fentanyl is fentanyl. And so what happens is, kids at a party, they're passing these pills around, just like they did when I was at a party when I was a kid. But instead of it being the real deal Lucille, it's pressed up with fentanyl. And what happens is like I said, one pill can kill someone, one shot, whatever it may be. So I'm just going to tell you, if you're just like, oh, well, my kids just dab, there ain't no dabbling to this. Okay. Back in my day, 80s, early 90s, before I got in recovery, somebody could dabble. You really could. You could dabble and say, they're passing these pills around. What's the big deal? There's a white substance going around. What the heck? We'll try it. Dabbling. Now you dabble, you could be dead. And I don't think people really understand this. So here's what I wish we could. I think this is one of the most important, recovery shares that we've had. Here's the thing. There is nothing wrong with families getting together and talking about this, talking about the drug supply, talking about the dangers of using, talking about the dangers of press pills, talking about all this stuff, and also talking about naloxone and Narcan. Listen, the only thing that this enables is breathing. Anybody that says this enables, using and this, that, and the other, give me a break. Because you know what? When your child is overdosing and dying, they're not breathing, and naloxone can bring them back, the only thing you're concerned about, or anybody else should be concerned about, is it enables their breathing, and it gives them the opportunity to live. Because the bottom line is that's what we want for our children. We want them to live most of all. And when we have a tainted drug supply, that somebody could, I know mothers who have told me, my son just took a pill at a party and now he's gone. I can introduce you to some of them. And you say, well, this won't happen to my child. I'm just telling you, if you're saying that, you're the ones that are vulnerable. I'm just telling you. So if you need naloxone and if you want to talk about this, give us a call, inbox us. You can inbox us, a Recovery First podcast. You can get a hold of me. I don't mind putting my phone number out for this one, 864-787-3798, Freedom Recovery Services. Let's talk about this. If you need naloxone, if you have a child that is using and you don't have naloxone, man, please have it at your house. Have it at your house. I can't tell you how many families that have called me and said, my son's using, he won't go to treatment, he won't do anything. And then they call me back and say, man, we're so glad. Thank you for helping us get that naloxone and training us and showing us how to use it, Mike, because it saved my son's life. Okay? So, Mike Todd, Recovery First podcast. If you need naloxone, Narcan, the drug overdose reversal drug, please contact us, get in touch with us. We'll get it out for you. We'll walk you through everything, and everything is confidential. It'll be done just absolute, no questions asked, just information. Everything will be done in confidence. Mike Todd, Recovery First podcast. Keep tuning in. This is Mike Todd with the South Carolina Recovery Housing Association. I would like to thank Challenges, Inc., the Recovery Advocacy Project, and the Clinton Foundation for helping us get naloxone to all recovery houses in South Carolina.